In today's video, we are going to talk about a stock that took the financial markets by surprise in January of 2021. It's the stock called as GameStop, a stock that rose from $15 in December 2020 to a high of $483 in January of 21. That's an astronomical 2,500% returns in just a span of 20 trading days. In this video, I'm going to give a detailed explanation of what caused the euphoria, of what exactly happened in GameStop, and explain the jargons to you so that you are able to understand the story better and in a more detailed way. It's the story of David versus Goliath, where sophisticated hedge funds were beaten at their own games by amateur stock traders. Now let's look at the background of GameStop. Ever since 2016, the company had been facing problems. During COVID times, it closed almost 1,000 stores and it laid off a lot of employees. And you can see that the revenues of the company had been consistently declining since 2017. And GameStop was not able to capitalize on the shift of online gaming industry. It was a company that was still into brick and mortar way of selling video games. And this company was under pressure with all the online gaming that had happened. Even before COVID hit, somewhere in February of 2020, a company that had a net loss of $275 million, the market was expecting a bankruptcy of this company. And the share price had fallen from $12 in 2019 down to around $4 somewhere in June of 2020. This was because of the expected bankruptcy and the double hit of COVID that had happened. This was one of the reasons for the hedge funds to be bearish on this stock. And the only way to exercise their view on the stock was to short sell the shares. Now let's understand what short sell is. It typically means that when I, as a financial institution, borrow shares from the market and sell it with an expectation that the price will fall back and I will buy it back later. So this buying is called covering the short. In this GameStop stock, a few hedge funds like Melvin and Citron had deployed this strategy of short selling. Now for Melvin and other hedge funds, उनके लिए प्रॉफिट तब होगा जब ये शेयर प्राइस $10 से गिर के $6 हो जाएगी and they are able to buy it back at $6. And this is where they make the $4 of profits. However, if the share price rises, if their view is wrong, और शेयर प्राइस $10 से $16 हो जाती है, तो जिन्होंने ये शेयर्स शॉर्ट सेल करे थे उनके लिए $6 का लॉस हो गया, बिकॉज नाउ दे हैव टू गो इन द मार्केट एंड बाय इट बैक एट 16 एंड गिव इट टू द ओरिजिनल पर्सन हु हैड दीज शेयर्स. So this is what short selling is, and this is what covering the short means. Now let's get back to the GameStop story. Because this company had a structural problem ever since 2017 and 18, financial institutions had been selling the shares, doing short sell. However, post the peak COVID, somewhere in September of 2020, is when there were some positives that were emerging in the company. One of the billionaires, Ryan Cohen, he got on the board of GameStop to revive the company. और वो अपने साथ उसकी खुद की टीम लेकर आया. This meant that the market was expecting a turnaround in the company. And GameStop got into certain deals with Microsoft for their Xbox sales. So all of that brought some positivity in these share prices and in the perception that market had. Now this person, Ryan Cohen, he had 13% stake in the company, And a lot of people thought that if he's running a successful online company, he'll be able to revive GameStop as well. And you can see in the share price, which rose from around $4 after the whole COVID scenario, right up to somewhere 15, 18, $20 towards the end of December. Now for hedge funds like Melvin and Citron, जिन्होंने already $10, $12 पे कई साल से वो short करके बैठे थे, if $10 was attractive for them, $15 and $20 was all the more attractive. So they went out and short sold some more stocks of GameStop. Now in US, any institution or any company has to declare कि उन्होंने कितने shares short sell करे हैं. It's the transparency that they have to give to the SEC. So this data revealed that on January 11th, the total short position on the stock was close to 100% of the company's outstanding shares. So total short sale market में $71 million का था, जबकि outstanding shares of this company were only 69.75 million. And by January 14, the amount of short sale had reached to 140% of the float. And this is where the share price had also started inching up somewhere close to 14th January. You might feel कि एक कंपनी के short position 100% से ज्यादा कैसे हो सकते हैं. So let's look at an example of how this happens. Now there is a company and there are 100 shares. Mukesh owns 90 of them and Anil owns 10. Now transaction 1, Mukesh lends 90 shares to Uday and Uday shorts sell them all to Ratan, which means Ratan is buying from Uday. In this case, now Mukesh has 90 shares, Anil has 10, and Ratan, who has bought from Uday, has also 90 shares. So total short sale ho gaya 90, which is where Uday would have sold to Ratan. So 90 shares are outstanding out of 100. In the second leg of the transaction, Ratan, who has 90 shares, he lends it to Kumar, and Kumar shorts it to Gautam, all the 90 shares. So now when you look at ownership, Mukesh has 90, Anil has 10, Ratan has 90, and Gautam also has 90. And if I look at total short sale that is done, उदय ने सबसे पहले शॉर्ट सेल करा था और फिर कुमार ने करा, तो उन दोनों के शॉर्ट सेल मिला के 90 180 out of 100 outstanding. So now you have 180% shares which are short sold as a percentage of total shares. And the cycle can continue, and that's what happened in GameStop, that the game of short selling never stopped. Now, when short sell position reached 140% of the float, and all the positives that I talked about, कि जो market में लग रहा था कि नया board पे member आया है, there are some new deals that are happening. All of that interested a few people on Reddit's forum, which is the Wall Street Bets. And they start discussing about these positivities and the fact that 140% of shares are as a short sell position by these hedge funds. So there is this one person who mobilizes an army of amateur investors in an effort to short squeeze these hedge funds. Let's look at what short squeeze of hedge funds is, because that's a new term that I introduced. Remember the Melvin hedge fund जिन्होंने $10 $20 पे shares बेचे थे, अब उनको expectation है कि price नीचे जाएगी and they will buy it at a lower price. But for any reason, when such stocks prices rise, जिन्होंने short sell करा है उनके पास shares तो है नहीं और price ऊपर गई तो उनके लिए loss होने लगा. So they are forced to buy it back to ensure that they don't have any more losses. Now, when they start buying it, it increases the demand of the stock. And that means that anyone who had short sold And that means that any other person who had short sold, he is also seeing a larger loss, because as demand rises, the prices rise, and it triggers more short seller to cut their losses, and in that buy more shares to cover the short. And this causes a cascading effect, and the share price keeps rising. This is what short squeeze is. So in GameStop's story, the price had already risen from $15 in end of December to around $30 or $35 by 14th of January. And this is what the short squeezing effect started coming in. Between January 15th and January 22nd, a lot more retail investors get in the game. And there are a lot of Robinhood traders who go long on the stock. They go and buy call options in a whole YOLO movement in an effort to take on the big evil institutions, these so called hedge funds and financial institutions. They try to take on the big evil institutions who control the stock markets. So now let's look at who are these Robinhood traders. But before that, let me tell you what Robinhood is. So Robinhood is a stockbroking company. It's an app-based trading platform which is very popular with retail investors in US. And Robinhood traders are typically day traders who trade in the stock market through this app. And they are high frequency traders. दिन में वो कई बार buy sell करते रहते हैं. Now there is one interesting statistics that अगर मेरे Robinhood के अकाउंट में $1 है, then I as an individual, I would have traded $25,000 worth of option contracts. And this is during Q1 of 2020, some data that I could find. This is the kind of leverage. For every $1 in my Robinhood account, I would have traded $25,000 worth of options. Now imagine that's how all the Robinhood traders would have traded. Now these first time people or these Robinhood traders, they have pushed up prices of every share that you can think of, all the small stocks, all the penny stocks. A company like Hertz, it had filed for bankruptcy on 18th of May. However, the price rose from $0.56 to 5.53, a rise of 800% over a 20-day period, primarily because these Robinhood traders started buying the share thinking कि 50 सेंट ही तो है, यहाँ से और नीचे कितना जाएगा, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जीरो हो जाएगा. And these are some of the chats that can happen on such Wall Street bet kind of accounts or such Wall Street bet kinds of forums on the Reddit platform, where this person is saying that I am buying Hertz and some JC Penney and other stocks. Who's with me? So they'll go out and buy en masse. Same way, there was one company called as Urban One, where it rose from $1.5 to $35 in 15 days. And this is the kind of chats that are happening on such platforms, that let's go together, let's tell them who's controlling the market, and they can't control the market anymore. So that's the kind of risky bets that such Robinhood traders were taking on the US stock market, primarily in such penny stocks, small stocks. And you might feel कि कौन है ये लोग, कहाँ से आते हैं? So let me give you a background about that. During lockdown, a lot of millennials in US had a time on their hand, and the US government started giving cash or check to the US citizens, the whole big 2 trillion economic stimulus package that was given by US. And in general, US people are very prone, or they are very pro in gambling, and it's legal out there. Now with casinos closed, stock market became the obvious choice. Enter the Robinhood app. Robinhood app has zero commission. It has a nice user interface, hassle-free account opening, and because of all of these reasons, it became the obvious choice for the digital American, the millennial guy out there. it also has the option of buying shares in fractions, which means कि अगर say मुझे Tesla के shares buy करने हैं, and it's at $800, but I don't have $800, I only have $200. So I can go and buy 0.25 shares of Tesla. And like me, another 10 people have such $200 or $300 or $400, and everyone can go and buy shares in fractions. So that's the advantage that Robinhood app gave. And this is the reason why it became popular with the millennial stock trader who was trading for the first time or just recently entered the stock market. So coming back to the Robinhood army and the Robinhood traders buying GameStop's share between 15th and 22nd January, all of this buying took the stock from around $10 to $15 right up to $130, a 10x increase from mid-December. And with all of the short selling positions that was already there by these hedge funds and financial institutions, the 10x increase in price was like a suppressed spring waiting to explode. And on 26th of January, GameStop became the most traded equity on the planet, with around 20 billion of volume, surpassing Tesla's volumes. The price finally closed at $147. That was up 93% from the day before and up by almost 640% from 2 weeks ago. And all of this took the market cap of this company to around $10 billion. And the hedge funds and financial institutions who had already shorted this stock at $10, $20, suddenly they start bleeding. And you can see the increase in volume on 26th of January. And on the night of 26th of January, something unexpected happened. The world's richest person, Elon Musk, tweeted about it. And he said game stonk. And stonk is a slang word for stocks on the Wall Street bet forums. And you know why he was happy about it, why Elon Musk was happy? Because way back in 2018, Melvin Capital, the hedge fund who has shorted GameStop, they had shorted Tesla's share price and they had suppressed the share price for a very long time and they had made money out of it. In all of this, Elon Musk was happy and he was having some sort of sadistic pleasure out of it. The very next day that Elon Musk tweeted, the share price opened at around $350 and it went up to a high of $483. That's the 2,500% return in a span of 20 days, taking the market cap of a company, a loss-making company, to $30 billion. And the hedge funds, they had to be bailed out. Melvin had to be given $3 billion in capital as a bailout by two other hedge funds, by Citadel and Point72, another two hedge funds. And financial institutions were crying foul over such ganging up of retail investors, as they were clearly miffed at being beaten at their own game by some amateur traders who were millennials discussing on internet, and they took the big guys down. The retail investors were happily showing off the profits that they made on the Reddit platform Wall Street Bets. And yes, you read it right. Someone actually made 25,000% return on his capital. And that was because of a lot of options that he had bought, which made astronomical profits. There were other effects of GameStop's share. An Australian mining company called as GME Resource rose from $0.75 to $0.13, almost doubling up in one day because it had a very similar ticker to GameStop and a similar sounding name. And this was on the Australian Stock Exchange. And some other effects of GameStop was that one of a hedge fund that had invested way back in 2018 in this stock, made a cool 700 million profit on the whole rally that had happened, while one of the original GameStop Reddit user donated his profits in the charity. And Elon Musk also tweeted that if you can't sell your houses that you don't own, or if you can't sell cars that you don't own, how can you sell stocks that you don't own? And he was against the whole short selling that is done by these institutional investors. However, on January 28th, Robinhood and other retail platforms, they blocked retailers from buying into the GameStop share. Their way of saying was that they wanted to reduce the frenzy and protect the retail investors because the stock had risen so much. They wanted to ensure that there is no fresh retailer getting trapped into this frenzy. But by stopping people from buying GameStop shares, it brought more volatility and an outcry from the retail investors. The retail investors said that why can't we get into this whole game of getting rich? Why is it that only the Wall Street institutions can get rich? Why can't we get into it? And the users started giving 1-star rating to the app on the Apple and Google Play stores, bringing its rating down to 1.1. And the stock went into more volatile movements, down from 460 down to $131 in just 1 hour. And it was not just GameStop that saw this phenomena in the last 4 or 5 days of end of January. Other stocks across US and other developed world in UK, in Germany, stocks which had a very high shorts also witnessed a surge in their share prices. According to one investment by Bespoke Investment Group, 16 stocks in US which had short selling of at least 40% of their outstanding shares, they were up 96% in the first month. You had companies like AMC, a hospital company, and Blue Spear, which had risen almost 700 to 600% in some 5-6 days. And in Germany and UK, similar stocks seeing a rise in price between 24th and 28th of January. So globally, everywhere people are seeing this phenomena, retailers getting into such stocks, trying to beat the educated institutions and the so-called hedge funds. But what next now? As Warren Buffett had famously said, only when the tide goes out do you discover who's swimming naked. And post the 28th January frenzy, in the next 5-7 days, the stock price corrected from $469 or $480 down to $60 on 5th of February, and currently it's somewhere around $45 to $50. So obviously it's a question that everyone has on mind, that a stock which was $10 in December up to 400 and now down to 40, what's next? And I think it's only hope that people have that the company will turn around. So a lot of, again, retailers coming onto the platforms and talking positives about it, because I think that they are holding shares which were very high priced. So it's a hope that they have. I'm not too sure whether there are fundamentals that have changed the company to take it from $10 to 400 or maybe $10 to $40. Is it possible in India? Can a GameStop happen in India? And my answer is most likely no. And that's because in India, SEBI has a lot of robust systems around how stock markets operate, around how shares can be bought and sold. So in the F&O market, the maximum open interest that a share can have is only 18% of the float. There is some technicality around it. 95% of MWPL, market wide position limit, that's the maximum that the share can be traded as a free float. So if I want to buy or sell a particular share, let me take an example of say Reliance. I can only buy Reliance share, or everyone put together can only buy Reliance shares worth 18% of the float of Reliance. And then there are intraday restrictions, which means that if a share, if it's on F&O, obviously there is no such restriction. But if it's not on F&O, which means that if it's a penny stock or a small stock, the maximum price that it can rise or fall is 20% from previous close. And if it rises or falls, if it moves 20%, then the next circuit that it will have, and this is called a circuit, the next day the circuit will be down to 10%. So the band reduces. And on the next day, if it again moves in either direction by 10%, the circuit will then move down to 5%. So it has these circuit filters, which means that a stock cannot exponentially move in the market. And the short sale that is possible in US, in India, the equivalence is the SLBM, Securities, Lendings and Borrowings market. That's very underdeveloped. It's not something which is very popular, and there are only some selective shares which are there in the SLBM market where you can short sell. So not every share is available to short sell. And if I want to do a short sell of a share, I have to pay 125% as margin. So obviously, why will I pay 125% as margin when I can pay a much lesser margin in the F&O market? And in US, there is a very peculiar phenomena that the brokers, they don't keep. In US, there is a very peculiar phenomena that when I buy a share, the shares are not in my holding, but actually with the broker's holding. However, in India, they are kept in the demat account, in my demat account. So obviously, there is a ring fencing that is available to me. And the whole way that US works, maybe that's something for another video where there is a lot more nitty-gritties in the US market. But if you look at India's version of Robinhood, which is our own app called as Zerodha, which is very easy, user-friendly, popular among the millennials and the new age investors, it has started something where it is giving pop-up alerts as precautionary warnings when there is a lot of volatility in the market. So obviously they don't stop or they don't restrict trading in the share, but they have something called as a precautionary warnings. So a lot more restrictions, a lot more ring fencing in the Indian market, maybe something that needs a separate video, a separate session of what is the difference between the Indian market and the US market. But that's something for a later time.